Shall we keep going into this unknown territory called the field or heaven on earth and start leaving the very, very known territory called the matrix or the illusion or the simulation, the overlay? Pick your own words. Pick your own words that give you a sense of that it is an illusion, that it's not real. And we want to make this who we truly are more real. I would say, which I have, of course, shared before, that it really is our emotional attachments that keep us stuck in the matrix. Our emotional attachments are very, very familiar. Fear, anger, rage, depression, grief, you name it. Very, very familiar for all of us. And it might be very foreign to leave them behind. And again, for most of us, our true nature, that feels foreign to us. That would like peace, calm, love, loving interaction, just allowing things to be without having to go out there and do something. And I can certainly understand, I can totally relate to that identification that I have lived through and in my whole life. And it is lessening for sure. But it's also like my deepest longing, my only reason really for being here at this point is to be fully free. So that's why I give a lot of my attention to sinking in to the depth of my being. And it feels like sinking, if you imagine, you've probably heard the metaphor, like the ocean. Lots of waves, lots of stuff going on up there, hurricanes stirring up the waters. But when we go deep enough, there's peace. There's just a gentle flow, movement, but there's no disturbance in it. And that is really how it is with our mind and the matrix, moving from that into the peace, the truth of who we are. And I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and she was sharing that she was beginning to kind of be able to get under it, right? Get below it and just sense what is underneath. But then this would just keep pulling her back up. And that's very much what these emotional attachment, emotional trauma, physical trauma, all these things, that's all happening here. And it's very hard to let it go because it's really is sticky. It's like a sticky glue that will just not let us go. And I fully relate to that. And I think most of us probably do. If we're really honest, we've all been living up here and it's very sticky and it's very intense. And it's very hard to fully let go of it and stop fully engaging with it. So for me, that certainly has been a process. And like I said, it is so much easier now. It's so much easier. There are still some sticky things that want to pull me out, and that comes as a physical sensation, which is uncomfortable. But there isn't much emotional charge or anything or attachment behind it. It feels like it's just like the remnants is many times the physical body. I've heard that. I don't know if it's true, but it seems to be true in my experience. And then eventually the whole charge can let go. And then we can sink down into the ocean, into the depth of our being. And lately I've just had this sweet sense of just in my daily life, just feeling it really feels as if I'm deep down in the ocean with very beautiful turquoise colored water with light coming through. Just really beautiful and like so peaceful. And then from there, being able to watch the world, the ripples, the waves, and watch them with even more clarity that it's just an illusion, an appearance, and it has nothing whatsoever to do with me. Joel uses the word that it's impersonal. So we don't need to make it personal, but I would say the matrix, part of the matrix is to make us believe that it is personal. And that's where the personal emotional attachments come in. It's tricky business. It really is. There is no quick fix for this. But I want to just keep sharing my experience and the clarity that comes through. And hopefully that will inspire some of you to really take this to the next level. So here, when this friend was sharing about coming down here, just being able to dip in and then whoops out again. So very, very frustrating, especially when the commitment and the longing for being here is so big, and then this just keeps pulling us out. And that tells us all how strong this illusion, it's nothing, right? But it gets our attention in the most tricky ways, the matrix. And as far as I can see in my own experience, what I have done with myself, supporting my clients with, is to try and just unhook a little bit at a time from these waves, these crazy waves, this crazy world, these emotional, seductive suggestions, that was like, come, no, you need to deal with this. You can't just leave this behind, which is true to a certain extent because we don't want to do the bypass. If we drop down here and there's still something going on here all the time that is connected to us, then we're not fully floating in that peace, in the perfection of who we are. So it is true, but it is also true that we should not give too much of our attention to it, only in order to do whatever it takes to unhook. And that you can do, there's many beautiful ways. You can always reach out to me if you need help with that, or use some of the other amazing things that are available. I'm a Hakomi practitioner, therapist, and that really helps people come into the full present experience that they're in. And when you go into the full experience of whatever this is, it's like you just go into it. You just almost like merge with it. And then, but you do that while you're still connected from here, if you can. That's hard in the beginning. That's why it's good to have a therapist or a guide or a coach or a teacher help you with that, because there is a time where we don't have access to this yet. So we need to get all the help we can to start unhooking enough so that the liberated energy, now we can connect here. So now we have more energy here to stay present with this. And this is all the waves on the waters. This is the matrix. This is the illusion. But as this grows, we're more capable to be present with this without engaging in it. So it's like you let yourself fully feel it, and it can be very uncomfortable. It's like you let yourself go into a tsunami and it's going to throw you around. So it's good to have some kind of a center to keep you grounded in who you are. And the more you do that, the stronger this gets, and the more you can just you just hold it. You're just present with it. You're not trying to do anything with it. If you need to do anything with it, then it is maybe some parts in here need something, self-love, maybe. That's one of my magic tricks. Maybe you need this, needs to give this frozenness some love in here, bring love in, and then it can relax. And then it can relax. And then this just dissolves into here because the frozenness, like a frozen water drop, you don't need to make it go away. You just need to warm it up with your love, with your presence. And then it melts back into its natural state, love or water, if it was a water drop. So there's a lot of processes that go with that. But many people, they get stuck here trying to fix all this, but they don't have connection with who they truly are. And that is so essential. It's like we stay connected and we bring that presence that we are to these unintegrated parts. And we want to bring it back so they become integrated, and then we become more of who we are consciously. We are always who we are, most of the time unconsciously. So we want to make it more conscious who we are, and then use that presence, that consciousness, to dissolve these unintegrated parts so they melt back into integration, if that makes sense. And I don't know if there is a way around it. I haven't found it yet, and I've been doing many things over the years. And sometimes it's helpful to have somebody do something for you. You know, you might have some psychic reading or some kind of a healing with modalities that can be helpful. And I think anything that helps us to unhook, that's helpful. But if this energy that's liberated is not brought back here now, instead of being locked in the matrix, we need to bring it back here into our true being so we're fully integrated. And the more integrated we are, the more energy we have to hold the unintegrated parts. And then they will slowly also melt in. And then eventually we are able to be down in this beautiful turquoise water with light moving through. It's really beautiful. And then from there, you can just watch it all. And it's so obvious that this is nothing, that this is the reality of who we are. And so the more experiences we get being here, the less interest we have in this, because then it's just such a waste of our consciousness, basically, our awareness. We don't want to put it up there. If we want to put anything up there, it will come from within, from our integrated part, integrated true self, to move out and do something out here. We're not going to try and do it in this fighting, conflict, pushy way. No, it comes and it may just be that you may just walk around, but you're feeling the turquoise ocean underneath. You have your own metaphor. This is just mine right now, and it changes. But then we just bring that peace. You know, maybe something shows up that this piece wants to engage in. You know, maybe you get some sense of wanting to do something in the world. Like me, a YouTube channel, right? You may have something else, and or you know, my other side of me is to help people, to bring them down here and unhook here. That is something that gives me great joy. I wouldn't do any of this if it didn't give me, if it doesn't connect me to this, which is joy itself. If I do it from here, there's no joy. There's just like more of this. And at some point, we all get so tired of it. So why not start now, even if you're not 100% tired of it? Maybe you're 50% tired or 60 or 10, but start there and let that energy be liberated. Now, this is really important as far as I can see, because the world is lost here. And they still think that the solution is going to be found here by changing this and electing that and getting rid of that. That is the matrix. So if you want to do that, you're still part of the matrix. If you like that, go for it. But if you really want to bring it down from here and out, then you want to stop that duality, that fighting, that battling, that choosing, that blaming, and you want to come down here and let yourself be moved from that. Now, if there is no movement, there is no movement. And that's also challenging for a while. Because I know for myself too, the more I'm here, in the beginning, there's all this one like pull me out, like, no, you have to do this, you have to do that. And there was a time where I really believed that, so I would go with that. But as I keep deepening in here, it's like I need to do something. And there was a really clear seeing of that, and not too long ago, where it didn't have any charge anymore. Normally I can feel it's like, oh, but saying no, I don't want to. But now I was doing it and there was no interest, there was no charge, there was no emotional attachment to believing it. So there's just like, no, no, I'm done with that. I am only now letting myself be lived from the inside out, from my fully integrated self. And if there's still unintegrated parts, I'm allowing this to hold it. And this, the warm water, knows how to dissolve a frozen drop. Yeah. Why don't we give that a try? Feel free to reach out if you do need help with that, uh, or watch some of my other videos. This is kind of the subject that I've been talking about for years, for years. Self-love, huge part of it. The self-love is that love that we are, that comes up to meet the frozen drops that are lost in the matrix, that are not integrated yet. And they will never be integrated up here because they're separate from who we are up here, at least in our experience. So they can't get integrated. They can only be integrated by being met with love and allowing love to do what it needs to do. And then I'll leave it with you, what that might be in your case. All right, my friends, so wonderful to be here with you. Have a great day.